competed in. It comes with, I'm assuming, a lot of stress and pressure and like just nerves. So what are some like techniques that you guys have to like handle those nerves and get out there and compete and put those things aside you and get ready?
Start with Jason and just work our way down.
I zoned out for a second. Could you repeat that?
How do you deal with nerves?
How do I deal with nerves?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that I do to deal with nerves is just pray. Nerves are natural, they're a part of competing. So I just pray that God turns my nerves into energy and then allows me to go out there and wrestle, spirited. And, obviously there's physical things that you can do, make sure you get a good warm up, positive self-talk, stuff like that. But yeah, I would say praying is the most important for me.
What was your name again? Ishan? I think, Ishan, I think one thing that's great about wrestling is you get to control what you do when you go out there. We're not reliant on anything else. We don't have 10 other teammates that pick us up when we fall down. So the best way to alleviate the things that you talked about is your preparation. And I find a lot of peace in my preparation. So my advice to you would be, dive into the work that you're doing. Believe in it, have trust in it. Don't let anyone outwork you. And it'll leave a lot of those things. And it's natural to feel nervous. That's natural instinct. That means your body's ready to go. If I sat up here and I wasn't nervous, there'd be something wrong. You're going out and stepping across and you're wrestling somebody that's extremely talented and they want to win as bad as you do. And that's part of the process. That's why we're doing this. We're ultimate competitors. So it's okay to compete. It's okay to get nervous. Accept that. Believe in your preparation. Don't let anyone outwork you. And you have peace of the result.
Yeah, when you get nervous, it's your animal brain turns on so that you can go out and be stronger than you've ever been, faster than you've ever been, and in better condition than you've ever been. So you need to tap into that, take control of it, say this is good for me and this is going to make me better. And whether it be, you're writing a paper or you're going out and running away from a lion, it's the same. If it's in your mind, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So just know that if you go out and do your best, that all of the butterflies, all that adrenaline, that's going to help you do better.
Yeah. I get nervous before I train sometimes, I came into practice the other day and I knew I was going to wrestle Dave in a match on Friday. And in the morning I woke up and I was like, this is a competition day. This is like a real deal for me. So I get a lot of reps, dealing with that. And the other thing, I just always remind myself, and I know, is that God is love and God is in control. So no matter what happens, it's all for my benefit. So I'm just trusting in Him the whole time.
Yeah, these are all great things. Gratitude, expressing gratitude, being thankful for the position that you're in. I think oftentimes when you find yourself in the tunnel, standing next to your opponent, and the magnitude of the moment really starts to get to you, you're like, man, have you ever seen those Snickers commercials where it's like, want to get away? Like you start to feel like, man, I would rather be somewhere else. But I think you have to remind yourself that you prepared for this, you chose this. You meticulously prepped and arrived at this moment for such a time. And so I think that gratitude, thankfulness in that moment, and reminding myself that there's no place in the world that I'd rather be than here at this very moment is always good for me.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I think for me, this is just off the cuff. Sometimes if there's a restroom nearby and you use the restroom, it actually helps relieve it. I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced that, but go to the bathroom real quick, you're good. Yeah. Oh, one, only one, don't do two. Yeah, only do one, don't do two. Because then you're stressing that I'm not gonna make it to the mat on time. So that usually helps a little bit. I usually like to sing, crack jokes with guys. I think a big thing though, when I'm out on the mat, I always say my prayer. I pace back and forth, and I don't really look at my opponent when going out there. Like this person isn't real, because that's for me that moment right when I'm walking up there and I give my high five to my coaches is when I feel the most. And I remember I watched Mike Tyson. He used to say, like, he would look his opponents in the eyes, and if they looked away, like, he knew he had them. But for me, I'm like, well, in my mind, this guy is not the worst, isn't my worst opponent. I'm my worst opponent. You know, I have to defeat me first before I go out here and worry about this person. And so, like, I look up and I say my prayer, and it's just, you know, God, let me compete to the best of my ability, what you bless me with, and that's it. Not caring about, you know, the outcomes or anything like that. And then I finally, from the corner of my eye, I'll see the ref reach out and tell me to come to the center. And then I still don't look at my opponent, and I shake hands and I look at it. And at that point, it's like, well, heck, can't turn back now. So let's go. And I think that kind of is where I tap into what Kyle Dake was saying about it's like, hey, just tap into it, go. Can't go anywhere. I'm not going to quit, so that's not an option.
So I have this thought theory that any negative thought or emotion that comes into my brain and body, it doesn't really stem from me. It's like some outside spiritual entity force called Satan or the devil. And he's always trying to take me off the path. He's trying to take all of us off the path. And if you don't think that or you don't believe that, then you probably should do some soul searching, because there's spiritual warfare going on amongst us, and we have to really address it. Anyways, that's a little tangent. So these thoughts, negative emotions, stress, anxieties are being put there to kind of take me off the path. And so when you have an idle mind, those thoughts kind of come in. So I try to always keep good, positive things going through my mind. I have a series of things I say to myself. Sometimes it's quietly, sometimes it's out loud, depending on how much energy I need to be putting out to keep those forces at bay. And sometimes it looks like I'm a little bit crazy when you see a person walking around talking to themselves and zoning around. But, you know, I think that we're all a little bit crazy. We have to be sitting up here. You know, I think a lot sometimes sit in the sauna, it's like cutting weight. Like, what the heck am I doing here? You know, this takes a lunatic to be doing this for not even for a job. I mean, obviously we get paid and there's compensation, but doing it because I want to. It's insane. But yeah, I just keep positive things going through my brain, you know, whether it's, you know, I am strong, I am tough, whatever it might be. You know, it's kind of cliche and whatever, but it's positive. And also prayer helps too. You know, and just being present as well. You know, just be right where your feet are. That's something I've been working on a lot. You know, the last 3, 4, 5 years is just being here. You know, I just want to be right where I'm at, right where my feet are. A lot of times we're physically here, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually we're somewhere else, and that's not good. That's when you get hurt, and we don't need to get hurt. So that's that.
Yeah, I had this thought getting ready for my semifinal matchup at the World Championships this year. I was getting nervous and I felt it, and like Thomas just said, I just thought, you know, we are insane to like step out on the mat, and I'm here because I want to be here. I love this feeling. I think you got to be a little crazy to like that feeling, but I think either way, we've all had times where nerves have interfered with our performance, and I think nerves can either be your friend or your enemy, and you get to make that choice. So kind of like Kyle Dake said, I look at nerves as, you know, it's your animal brain turning on. If there was a grizzly bear right behind me right now, I'd be really nervous. But so like use that for your advantage. You know, it makes you a little faster, a little quicker, a little stronger. So in that mindset, I think they're your friend, but you could easily go the other way with it. So just in those moments, remember why you're there, seek gratitude, like a few of these guys have already said, and you want to be here. Like I chose this moment. You know, Final X is a big fun event, but you know, I chose to be here and might as well use those nerves and go have some fun with it. So that's kind of how I approach it. Yep.
I think we have time for one more.